Welcome everybody back again to the Kilted Cajun. This is my page. This is my video. I am tired, so please excuse me, but I just suffered through episode 3 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Um, it's just like the other videos. Once I start getting into spoilers, I will let you know. But initial is again, they are selling this as a comedy, as a lawyer comedy, whatever. It's not. Jokes fell flat. I could tell where they were trying to be funny, and it's just more and more of the same. It's insult humor. I've never really been interested in insult humor unless you can get really, truly inventive with it. And this show just it's not inventive at all with the comedy. The C oh god, the CGI is the bad CGI. It's mediocre would be giving it credit. It is so noticeable when She-Hulk is walking around. She she looks like a stick figure with stop motion animation walking through the scenery. It's and oh my lord, her hands. I can understand when she goes from Jennifer Walters to She-Hulk, the body proportions, the proportions of the body should remain relatively the same because it is her entire body that is growing. So I don't see how they could get her hands so bad. It's bad. They are massive compared to the proportions of the rest of her body. So oh, it's I'm gonna keep watching it because one thing I will admit, there was a part that did show some interest to me that got my curiosity up. I will get into that into the spoilers. When I like something, I'm going to say it. When I don't like something, I'm going to say it. And there's a lot I just can't. There's a lot in this series that's getting a bit tiresome. It's more of the same overblown caricatures of modern life. I don't understand why, and it's all at the expense of men. Now, I'm not trying to go. Oh, the whole show is about all men bad. It's like no, it's just the jokes are bad. The delivery is poor, and it's same shit, different day, and that's all it is. They had the things that they brought into this. It was intentional. So, but if y'all are ready, let's get into. I'll get into. I'll try to go over as much as I really care about the more interesting parts that I found, the more piss poor parts that I found just irritating. At one, oh, I thought we were done with what's his name, Dennis Bukowski. I thought, oh, I'm getting into spoilers. Okay, three, two, one, let's go. I thought we were done with Dennis Bukowski. IMDb said he was in 2 episodes. This is the third episode. This moron. This I cannot stand. About the only redeeming thing is how they tore him down. So apparently the intent was to make him look like a piss poor piece of human excrement. They definitely succeeded in that. So hey, would you qualify that? Would I qualify that as good writing? No, it's lazy writing. And insulting him, insulting a pig of a man in an episode. Oh yeah, that's inventive. Where we've never seen that before. Anyway, I digress. So of course we go through the recap of the previous 2 episodes leading up to Jennifer seeing Abomination going through the the underground fight club. So at the beginning of this episode starts off with Jennifer Walters doing almost a Vince McMahon power walk into the prison, straight to Blonsky's cell, and asking him, what the hell's going on? This is going to completely ruin our case. There's nothing you can do about it. And of course, Blonsky responds that it was done against his will. He was essentially kidnapped, mind control, forced to do this, forced to do that, and he came back on his own. Well, as you'll find out later on the show, he was telling the truth. So this is an interesting turn of events for a man who was a psychotic mass murderer trying to kill the Hulk. But if that's where they want to go with the show, that's fine with me. Enter Wong. He's the one responsible for breaking Abomination out of the prison because Wong needed a worthy opponent for the Shang-Chi movie. Sure. Okay. One thing I did notice. Let's go through this. I didn't even do that. So, episode of She-Hulk. On her way back from the prison, she's in discussions with Nikki to try and find Wong. And of course, Nikki, as she puts it, sends, I can't even remember, what was the word she used? I don't know. She sent Wong a picture of her holding some books to try and entice Wong. So, sure, why not? Here, on the way back from the courtroom, on the way back from the jail, going back to her office, we get a fourth wall break of Jennifer talking about being extremely self-aware of what's happening with these the episodic Disney shows, where saying that don't forget who this show is about. It's not just one cameo after another, except Bruce and this person and this person and this person and this person. So it's they're pretty much telling the audience that, hey, we're just going to have a whole bunch of cameos every single episode, but the show's really about me. The self-awareness is very interesting. And at first, when I saw the suit she was wearing, my initial reaction, I do this all the time. It's human nature. I have an initial reaction and I look and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? And then the rest of my brain catches up, the part that thinks about shit. That's why I try to keep my mouth shut and think about things before I start speaking. I do not always succeed. People who know me will understand that. But after thinking about it for a second, I looked at her suit and it's like, she's wearing this massive suit that's too big for her body. What sort of message are they going to? Oh, wait a minute. She's wearing that because she turns into the Hulk. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't write that note down because, well, I try not to look too stupid in my regular everyday life. That's mainly where I fail. That's how I'm glad I write shit. I write these things down. Maybe I can form a coherent thought. So, but yes, the self-awareness writing about the cameos and cameos and cameos. What followed this scene was, I don't even know how to describe it. They decided to show. Now I don't know when this was written, filmed. I don't know if it was done after the announcement. I can't imagine anyone who was an actual fan of the She-Hulk comic responding like this when She-Hulk on Disney Plus was announced. I feel like a lot of the comic book fans were excited because She-Hulk is a beloved character in the MCU, not in the MCU, in the Marvel Comics. She's a great character. She's a derivative character. Everyone knows this, but she is the most popular derivative character in comics. My understanding, John Byrne was either the original artist, the original writer, or the most popular one. Someone correct me. I did not read She-Hulk growing up. I was in Spawn and Spider-Man and Batman. Those were my go-to and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a whole nother story. That's my all-time favorite comic book. Anyway, moving on. So those were very beloved runs of She-Hulk. Those were the fourth wall breaking, but it was comical because she was always talking to John. She was always talking to John Byrne, and in the way he would always draw her in, um, provocative scenes and whatnot. And She-Hulk always had a problem with it and always made it. It was a self-aware comic book breaking the fourth wall, and people loved it, and it was very popular. This, I don't know. I think they're trying too hard, trying to put. They seem very try hard with this fourth wall breaking. Where was I going? I can't remember. Back, yes, the internet. They showed the internet response with all kinds of people saying, "Oh, they stole they took the Hulk's manhood away and gave it to She-Hulk," and like nobody was responding like that in the beginning. Everyone was talking about the writing and the message that was coming and all kinds of stuff. The main criticism didn't come until after the first episode and that little lovely little speech that Jennifer gave to She-Hulk to just I don't even want to talk about that anymore. So everything they've put into episode 3, it's the whole incel narrative giving out that apparently men don't want to see strong female characters in their shows, and it's like, which is a complete and total load of bullshit. It really is. I'll argue with you about it till my dying breath. Yes, there are trolls out there are idiots out there who are going to scream from the rafters to talk about in. There will be idiots out there screaming from the rafters saying that they're tired of this and they're tired of that. It's like you're going to get that on the internet. No matter how hard you try, it's always going to be there. But qualif- qualifying all fans with this massive blanket statement into this misogynistic, bigoted opinion is wrong. And it's wrong. I'm tired of it. People are tired of it. I'm not the only one. And we're speaking out. Anyway, I'm keep going off on tangents. I'm not gonna lie. I actually scrolled through. I paused during each one of the messages, the likes, the shares, and the comments. It was actually kind of impressive. They were in the 5 digits, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of comments and shares. So, I mean, regardless of what you think, the opinions were just absolutely moronic. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. But it was kind of impressive, the ratios. And again, when she was walking through the office, she's back at the office as She-Hulk. The stiff walking. What on earth is Disney? I don't want to blame the CGI artists. They're busting their ass. They're trying to do their job and everything. But is there no editing? Is there no proofing on this before it goes to the show, before it's finalized? Like, what are they paying? I've heard a bunch of stories. I haven't looked into it, but they've got to do a better job. This is, I don't know, maybe you can make the excuse that, oh, it's an episodic TV show, but no, they're all done. My understanding, they're all done, right? They're releasing it weekly to give that whole the water cooler talk, get everybody talking and interested and waiting for the next episode instead of dropping it in the binge model. Everyone likes their own thing. You make your own decision. I know there's some people that are waiting for the entire show to come out. They're going to binge the whole thing. So, and God, her fucking hands are they're massive. It looks so unnatural. The way she walks, the size of her hands. I will criticize this. Maybe it'll get better as the season goes along. One can only hope. At least for the people that are still watching this, that aren't hate watching it, or at least talking about it. I've heard reports that the numbers are dropping like a rock off a cliff. So who's going to be still watching this by the end of the season? We'll find out. Maybe if it gets good, maybe if it starts getting decent reviews, better reviews, and wherever the story's going, maybe it'll pick up, or I'm just a moronic optimist. Back at the office, she gets called into her boss's office, and Dennis Bukowski, the most lovely, stereotypical caricature of a man pig, dipshit McMahon Bad, is back with more moronic dialogue, and apparently he got scammed by an Asgardian shape-shifting elf. Okay, cool. This is the shape-shifting elf, the old lady, the judge that turned into a weird older woman with elf ears. That's That's this episode. So after a little while, Wong shows up to discuss the case with Blonsky, and he admits that yes, he did help Blonsky escape, forced him to do this. So there's that. Q, I was trying to pay attention. There's not a lot happens. Most of the episode is her dealing with Blonsky's parole hearing, introducing Wong to get that setup going. The dialogue from Wong, it's like this is not the Wong from Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange movie, or any of the movies. He is a comical caricature of his former self. Just the faces he makes, the words he uses, the hinting, the touching his nose like this, like the thing from the Sting. It's like that's not his character. If you want to bring him in a certain way, you want to bring Wong in as a cameo or as for whatever reason, at least at least make him act like he has before. Everything he does, everything he says, his mannerisms is just completely out of character. He is not a serious character. There's no serious dialogue, no serious. It's a joke. I understand they're trying to make this a comedy, but keep character keep consistency when it comes to characters. Stick with how they acted before they showed up in this episode. Why is that difficult? I don't understand why that's difficult. But Wong agrees to show up and speak before the parole hearing. So we get to the parole hearing, and afterwards, Wong comes in, makes his little speech, and blah, blah, blah. Afterwards, of course, the reporters out there, big case, She Hulk's out there, and we have Abomination. I do believe I got a little bit too far. So I definitely got too far. During the parole hearing, we're going to go back. I am so organized here, aren't I? I did. Wow, I can't even do that right. So anyway, boom, ta-da! We're back on track. Aren't I impressive? So after the parole hearing, as she's walking out back to her car, the reporters are sitting there. They're asking her questions if she's in a romantic relationship with the Abomination, a couple other questions, and they just couldn't help themselves. I don't know why. They make a reference to She-Hulk's original backstory from the comic book, talking about, is it true that she got her powers from a mob hit gone wrong? Like, on one hand, you can sit there and think to yourself, oh, look, it's a reference to the comic book. But on the other hand, if you are a slightly less optimistic person, I'm a little bit of both. I see things from all kinds of different directions. That's why I'm able to at least relatively enjoy shows like this for the most part. One could also feel like that was a giant middle finger to the fans who just feel like, why didn't you just go with the source material? All you had to do was take the source material, translate it into a TV show, and you would have fans. Her original uh, if you didn't know, the original backstory for She-Hulk was that she was an attorney going after a mob boss who put out. She was going after a mob boss. The mob boss put a hit out on her, and they almost succeeded. They ended up killing her friend by mistake. Another instance, she got shot, and Bruce was there to try and save her life. Bruce had no other choice but to do a blood transfusion. During this blood transfusion, otherwise Jennifer would have died. It's Bruce's cousin. He loves her. He felt like he had no choice. He had the tough decision to make to give Jennifer his blood to keep her alive. At that point, the blood gets mixed. She becomes She-Hulk, and Bruce is just wrought with guilt because of the curse that he has put on her, because he feels he feels like he's responsible for ruining her life. That's when the comic book goes on to find out that no, Jennifer Walters loves being She-Hulk. It gives her confidence. She loves her newfound power. She thanks Bruce for saving her life. She doesn't denigrate him, insult him, or anything like that. Bit of a change to what we have on screen now. So you decide whatever the reason. Oh, more man hating speech that back in the courtroom, we're dealing with Bukowski and his little scam with the Asgardian elf. They get the idea of putting Jennifer Walters up on the stand to determine or to determine Bukowski's character, essentially to talk about what sort of self-absorbed narcissistic idiot he thinks he is. He believes that he is God's gift to women. So they put Jennifer Walters on the stand to just insult him and berate him. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it because I cannot stand. I hate Dennis's character. I really do. If there's anything that I can say, I did enjoy her speech insulting him because, yeah, like I said, I can't stand his character. He's a shit character. Just straight up shit character. So after that, we go back to oh no, Bukowski makes a comment about maybe getting some sort of inhibitor on the Asgardian elf to keep her from being able to shapeshift and scam anybody again. And that's when Jennifer Walters realized, did he just give me an idea? Oh, we'll just keep that between us because God forbid you get an idea from anybody else. Yes, I know they're trying to be funny. I understand that he's a pig piece of shit character and that's their relationship. That is what they're portraying. But again, these joke attempts are falling flat for me. So she remembers that, well, Hulk's got an inhibitor, so I don't know how she would have gotten it from him since he saw Fly gallivanting around into space. How exactly did she get? There was absolutely no explanation, no cameo, no discussion with Bruce about how she would get her hands on the inhibitor. But in the end, the parole hearing decides that, hey, this mass murdering psychopath is, oh, you can, sure, we're going to let you out. But if you ever turn into the abomination, you're coming right back because if he turns into the abomination, they'll be able to stop him again. They didn't even know he escaped from prison until after the fact, until it was on the news. So, yeah, okay. But sure, he'll keep the inhibitor on, gosh golly darn gee. But after that, that's when they start accusing Wong of aiding and abetting a prisoner escape and saying that's a crime. So Wong, of course, says, "Oh, I have to go," and just fucks off. This is destruction. This is a sad, unfortunate destruction of Wong's character. This is not his character. You can still make him serious. You can still make him that stoic sorcerer supreme without him being an idiot who cares about titles. That they called him Mr. Wong, and he corrects him. Oh, it's just Wong, sorcerer supreme. It goes on this speech about his titles and why do they have to make him an idiot? Why is that necessary? I don't. I just. So Jennifer Walters go after all this. She's yay success. Walking out of the prison. New interview. Not interview. The reporters outside. Hammering her with questions. She goes back to the office. Oh, on her way home. Now, this little scene you could see coming a mile away based on the scenery setup. Goes home alone in the middle of the night, getting out of her car, and you just go, oh, okay, she's going to be attacked here. Okay, no big surprise. And these four thugs show up with glowing weapons. Now, and she accuses them, oh, did you rob an Asgardian construction worker? And of course they go, well, yeah. So she hulks out. They attack her, and she is absolutely 100% completely and totally unfazed by every hit they get on her. I can understand if they were using normal weapons, if that was a regular crowbar or a regular brass knuckles. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely no effect. She doesn't even flinch during this fight. But The thing is, these are not regular items. They are glowing. They are glowing for a reason because apparently, sure, they are imbued with some sort of properties. Perhaps they are, if they are Asgardian construction tools. There's a reason why they're glowing. I think it would have been. I think it would have been more appropriate for her to have had some sort of reaction, either a flinch, some sort of movement. Yes, they don't have the strength, but the power behind these weapons, I believe it would have been better that it would have had more of an effect because when they hit her, it does absolutely nothing. They didn't even try to make She-Hulk look vulnerable. Again, I understand these are regular people, but they do not have regular weapons. The glowing, they are glowing for a reason. Make it look like there's a reason. Make the gloves show that, sure, a regular person can take these gloves and cause some damage. If like something, I just think the scene would have been better. At one point, I think I want to say it's the one with the helmet. One of them looks like he tries to stab She-Hulk in the shoulder. It looked like a needle, telling you right there. They're trying to. At first, I thought they were trying to inject her with something, but no. It looks like they were trying to draw her blood. They get back to their truck, their van, and I think the only reason She-Hulk doesn't go after them is because she has what I would consider an epiphany. She sees herself in the reflection of a car, and perhaps this is a come to Jesus moment for her, where she realizes that no, she does not have a normal life anymore. She is a superhero. She is She Hulk. And there was no dialogue. And I'll give the scene credit of her looking in the mirror and the expressions on her face. I'm going to give him credit because she does have that look on her face of realization. And what I got from that scene is that she now knows that no, she's not Jennifer Walters anymore. She is She Hulk, and she's going to have to deal with that no matter what. Um, and I skipped the interview part. She finally decided, thanks to Blonsky, she actually took. This might be going against what some people are talking about. Where I don't even no, I'm not going into the culture war crap. I'm going to be part of it because of all the crap I'm talking about. I understand that. I'm just going to give my opinion on the shit. Uh, what I think the direction should be, where it is. Anyway, I'm going off on tangents. I have talking points, not a script. I couldn't read a script. I can't read and talk at the same time. Here we go again. She decided, thanks on Emil Blonsky's suggestion, that this is who she is. She might as well own it. I paraphrase. And she takes that advice and she does an interview on TV where, they ask her where the She Hulk name came from and said some guy thought about it. Of course, we can't pass up an opportunity to insult people, to insult a man. Some guy on the street thought about it after half a second, but it just kind of stuck. It's like, you got your name randomly because reasons, but you got to insult. Anyway, I shouldn't be talking like that. Just talk about the show. The thugs go back to their van, and what caught my interest, and which is something that's going to have me cautiously optimistic, which I know it's foolish on my part. A lot of it's foolish on my part. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic to see where this goes. They talk about the boss is going to be mad. So it's obvious that they were trying to draw her blood. Why would they do that? Go back to the first episode and watch it. You'll see why. Her blood's important. What about her once a month? Never mind. We don't want to talk about it. Never mind. That's not part of the writing. Just ignore it. So the boss is going to be mad. Now who's the boss? It's not Tony Danza. Yes, I'm old. It'll be interesting to see who that boss is. I don't think it's going to be Titania. She did not come across as some sort of mastermind. I'm sure Titania is going to be working for the boss. If you think about it, the fact that Matt Murdock and Daredevil are going to be in this, is it possible it could be Kingpin? I know a lot of people would love that. The nerd boner would be strong. I'd like to see. I need to go back and watch Netflix's Daredevil. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Honestly, it would be interesting to see what they do with it. When is Matt Murdock going to show up? IMDb could be lying. They lied about douchey McDoucheface Dennis Bukowski. Those bastards. I was looking forward to an episode without him. And yeah, that's the episode. She-Hulk gets, Jennifer Walters gets jumped, panics, and they realize like, oh, wait a minute, I'm the She-Hulk. Beats the crap out of the guys. They do not even. She doesn't even break a nail. She would have killed him if she had. But anyway, yes, that was a joke. It fell flat, I'm sure, because I'm not a comedian. Except my life is a joke. Anyway, they get back in the van, talk about this boss. We go to credits. I'm starting to pay more attention to the end credits and the art. Uh, it looks like it's giving little, not really a little bit of backstory, but filling in some blanks and showing different scenes that were discussed. It shows one of them shows Nikki Ramos taking the selfie with the books that apparently she sent to Wong to try and entice him. And it shows one of them shows She-Hulk lifting weights and taking a selfie, which is like, okay, I think that's something she was doing in the comic books and some of the artwork. So maybe the end credits are sticking to the lore. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't read the comic. I just have a small understanding. But then we get to the end credit scene with, I can't be bothered to remember the personality's name. I don't know if she's an artist or what. Stallion, something Stallion, who signs, uh, probably does a retainer fee with Jennifer Walters with She-Hulk. And the scene ends with the boss walking around the corner to see She-Hulk and her new client twerking in a business suit in a law office, twerking. Now, I don't even know what to say. It was just um, speechless to me. If you thought it was funny, cool. I No, I just can't. I just, I'm sorry. I just, this is too much for me. This is truly, truly just too much for me. So anyway, those were my thoughts. If you liked what I have to say, leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Tell me what you liked about it, tell me what you didn't like about it. I like to hear other sides of it. But seriously, if you liked the show, if you thought it was funny, tell me. Tell me what you liked about it, what you thought was funny. Share it with your friends. If you didn't like what I had to say, shit post in the comments. Hit that thumbs down too. Hit the thumbs up. Do what you like. Have a good night. I hope to see you in the next one.